Hello, Leo. This is your oracle reading for the month of February 2026. My name's Kathleen. I'm one of the spirit operators. If you're new here, I do things a little bit different. I get psychic impressions from the images on the cards, and I interact with spirit. So this might not be what you're used to. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back, and we're glad you're joining us again. Okay, so I'm continuing the same sort of card setup from last month that I was giving during a meditation. And the card up top here represents you for the month of February. And that card is from the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And then the four cards below that is the regular reading I would do for the month. And this month we're using the Mystical Journey Oracle cards. Okay, so let's get started. So you are represented by the Queen of Pentacles this month. So I'm hearing sitting pretty. So there's a feeling of being partially content with how things are going. It feels like you haven't quite gotten to the point in your life that you want to be. Perhaps you have had goals that you wanted to accomplish, places that you wanted to go, titles you wanted to receive, and I feel like you've done okay. It's almost like maybe you're 2/3 or 3/4 of the way there, or on the way there type of idea, but you're not quite fully satisfied. There's something kind of missing from your life, that you have accomplished. Like I said, you've accomplished some things, but not everything. So there is still a little bit of discontent arising this month for you. Okay, so Spirit said let's get into your reading. Maybe we'll see what that is. Maybe. I never know what's going to come up. Okay, so the first card we have here for you is Compassion. So this feels like a relationship. Now, it may be a romantic one. It may be a different type of relationship. Okay, family, friend, coworker, whatever. But it feels as though your energy is the lower swan, and the other person's relationship energy is the swan above. And that swan above is kind of crowding you, trying to control you. So you feel a little stifled by that. I don't think you're quite happy with how that's playing out. And that individual does not want to relinquish control. They like lording it over you type of attitude. So be really careful and cautious around that person. If there's any way you can kind of back away from them as much as possible, if you're able to assert your own wants and needs, and you feel that you can do that safely with this person, and they will back off, and they'll understand it and that you do that, then by all means go ahead and do that. But if there's any type of question that this person's not going to give in, I'm hearing Spirit saying relent. If it feels like that would actually might make their behavior worse, then do your best to back out of the relationship. So, if it's painful, if it's, but any relationship that would be painful, but if it's a romantic relationship, it can be quite painful, but you kind of need to take a look at it, right? And hopefully you'll know what relationship this is. If it's work related, maybe it's time to start looking for work somewhere else. Um, if it's a friend, then just start backing away and let them live their own life and, get closer with better people. And if it's family, you can try to back away and yeah, just make sure you're safe and protected. Yeah, their energy is not. I I'm I almost feel a little bit creepy with their energy. I certainly hope that's not the case, but there's something not quite right with that person and the control that they want. So maybe it's a mental issue or an emotional issue with them. Something's just not doesn't sit right with me. So yeah, sorry. You'll know whether or not that how that's going to play out for you, but hopefully you'll be able to back away from that individual. Okay, so let's continue, and we have life review. So yeah, that feels like your energy. So this feels like you've had disappointment in the past and your feeling of wanting to escape, of wanting to find something new, someone new, um, a new situation, maybe even a new place to live. But there's a desire to escape. So, yeah, I would recommend following that. Find something better. Find a better situation, a better place to live, better people to be with. Spirit said yes. So yeah, if that's what you've been feeling, look into it. See if that's viable. See if you can get a new job at a new place and go. Because it just feels like it really feels like you need your freedom. Maybe it's because of this individual stifling you. I don't know, you know, but yeah, go ahead, do it. Okay, so the next card we have here is taking back your power. Which ties in with, with what's going on. Um, yeah, don't allow that individual, if you know who it is, to stifle you anymore, right? To hold you down, control you. That's not something that you need or want. Um, yeah, so look within. There's a big feeling of turning within and trusting yourself, trusting your own instincts, trusting your own way of being, and living your truth, right? Doing your thing. I mean, with all the chaos and turmoil in the world right now, like really, just do your own thing. There's no reason to hold back, really, unless you're doing something incredibly negative, which I'm not picking up at all in this reading. But yeah, to take care of yourself and do what's best for you, because if you're happy, you'll be happy when you're dealing with others, right? If you're miserable and confined and feeling imprisoned and feeling that you need to escape, then you're not going to be dealing with life and the people around you in your best manner with your best qualities, right? Because you'd be stifled from doing that. I don't know why that word just keeps coming back up. Okay, so the next card we have is being bound. So if it's not a person, if it's something else that's making you feel this way, if it's a job or, like we were saying before, maybe it's family, maybe there's too many expectations on you and too much pressure being put on you. And, and that maybe that is part of this need for freedom is just, I'm tired of doing what everybody else is asking. I'm tired of doing what everybody else wants. I need some time for me. And so, yeah, do that. And you know, get out, escape if you can. It's important in February to do that, okay? So if you have a way out of whatever the situation is, please take it, okay? Okay, Spirit said that's it for your reading. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so very much for watching.